thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. What do that sound like? You said, I could barely hear you, brother. Let's read it again for the brother.
Thy sons and thy daughters
Thy sons and thy daughters, what?
shall be given unto another people.
They saying your sons and your daughters is going to be given unto another people. So that sound like what? Slavery, taking your child from this plantation to another plantation,
Right.
or nowadays CPS, taking your children out of your family care, and now and putting them in foster care. Now you don't have nowhere to find your children, right?
That's right.
Continue on.
And thine eyes shall look and longing and failing for them all the day long.
So they gonna be looking at them and fell from all day long, meaning they not gonna know exactly where they at, right? Continue.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
What?
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
There's no be no strength to get them out of that position. No resources, nothing you could do to get them out of that situation, right? Can your people relate to that? Probably. Okay. Let's see. Let me get verse 68. Let me get First Ezra chapter 1 and 7. Right. Let's see if your people relate to this, because only a certain group of people ever went through this. Right. Let's bring this out.
That's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said, the Lord said, I'm gonna bring thee into Egypt again. Do you know what the word Egypt means according to the Bible, brother? Right, let's show you, right? Because the second interest want to say, slap it. So the Bible explains itself, right? So you don't have to wonder what's going on in the Bible. It explains itself. You just gotta read and keep reading, right? This is what Egypt means in the Bible.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 1 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
Am not I, even he, that brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage?
From where?
From the house of bondage?
From where?
From the house of bondage?
The word Egypt literally means the house of bondage, right? So what's another word for bondage, brother? Together? What about like captivity or like slavery? Can that relate to bondage? Like if you're in bondage and you're top of hard and straits, right? Right? So the word bondage, it goes into what? Literally between a rock and a hard place. Literally. Right? So when you go back to the precept in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, he said, I'm going to bring thee to Egypt again. Let's see how they came into Egypt, right? Or slavery.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With ships. Right? Can your people relate to that? Going on slavery on ships. Right? Can your people relate to that? Okay. All praise to the Most High. So if your people relate to that, brother, hey, you're more likely to be an Israelite, according to the Bible. Just based off the curses that the Most High planted in Deuteronomy 28 and all through the scriptures, right? Let's finish that up with the brother, though.
With ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
The same way it happened, the same way it's going to happen. The same way he said it's going to happen, the same way it's going to happen, right?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
When you get off them slave ships, you will be sold to your enemies. So who were your people sold to? Or who were we sold to when we got off them slave ships? You said who? The white man. Hey,
That's right.
The white man, he said enemies though. It had to be more than the white man, right? It had to be all the other nations that surround us, right? Hey, it could be the white man, it could be the Asian man, it could be Arab man. All these other nations had us in captivity at a certain point in time.
That's right.
Right? And they all are enemies, right? Continue on.
For bond men
Right, for slave men.
and bond women.
Right.
And no man shall buy you.
So no man what?
And no man shall buy you.
So no man shall buy you, meaning going to redeem you out of that captivity. Because here in 2023, we still here in slavery. Still here in what we know as America. 1613, hey, we still here. We the ancestors of that. right? Or whenever your people came over here, we still the same ancestors that came from that slave trade, right? So with that, brother, would you deem yourself as an Israelite or as the nations that you said before, according to the Bible? An Israelite, all praise to the Most High, right? So with that being said, brother, do you know what the Most High God required of you as being an Israelite, right? Let me get Deuteronomy 10:2, 10-12. Actually, let me get Nehemiah chapter 1 verse 9. Nehemiah 1-9. So who?
What do you say about the Hebrew?
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna get this brother with this. I'll pray. Nehemiah 1-9.
The book of Nehemiah chapter 1 and verse 9. But if you turn unto me and keep my commandments,
If you turn unto me and what?
and keep my commandments and do them,
And what?
and do them,
And do them.
though there were of you cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven,
Because we was cast out. That's why you see us in every other nation and province. Because we was cast out. That's one of the curses too, that we would be scattered in different nations. The Most High, scattered us everywhere. That's why you can find us in China, Japan, Australia. You name it, we there, right?
that's right. Yet will I gather them from thence,
Right.
and will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there.
Right?
Now these are the servants and thy people,
Right.
whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand.
And that's what he did. He coming to redeem us with a strong hand, right? His chosen people, as I mean, Israelite. So he's basically saying, if you start doing what I said to do, which what keep the law, statute, commandments, then I'm gonna bring you out of this lowest state that we in, and I'm gonna put you back into that hierarchy, right? So, do you know any laws, statutes, and commandments, brother? What's a couple, brother? Name something for me. Like thou shalt not. Hey, brother, that's what we're here for. We're here to, learn our people, man. Teach them, right? Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and not Exodus 20 and 8. Let me get, what you forget? God, let me get Leviticus 11 and 7, and come. Exodus.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Remember the Sabbath day.
It said, remember the Sabbath day. You know what this? You ever heard of the Sabbath day, brother? Right. Let's see what the Most High say about the Sabbath day.
To keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
It said, 6 days you can labor and do all thy work and what?
But the seventh day,
Right? But
but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Right. He said the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. What is the seventh day of the week? You said Sunday? Are you sure, brother? You got a phone? Right. Look on the calendar and see what it says. Right. Let's see. It's actually Sunday is the seventh day of the week. Let's see. Is that Friday? We go look on your calendar. What day do it start? What week of the day do it start at?
Sunday.
Saturday is the seventh day of the week, right? Because it goes S to S, literally on the calendar. It literally shows us S to S. You can literally Saturday to Sunday to Saturday. So Saturday will be the seventh day of the week, not Sunday.
That's right.
So why did they lie to us and say it was Sunday? And they got everybody going to church on Sunday and worshiping the Most High, and they call that the Sabbath day.
Right.
Right? But you gotta remember, he said, remember the Sabbath day, right? So the Sabbath day is literally on Saturday, which is right now, right? If you want to get technical, it's really Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, right? That's the Sabbath day according to the Lord, right? Because your day starts in the evening time, right? So within the Sabbath day, the Most High has stipulations or ordinance, which mean, you can't do certain things on the Sabbath day, right? Meaning, you can't cook, for example. You can't cook, but you can eat, but you can't cook, right? You can't kindle no fire, right? Let me get Nehemiah 10:31, right? Nehemiah 10:31, and then we get Isaiah 58 and 13.
This is the book of Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy of them.
What?
That we would not buy of them.
On that day, on the Sabbath day, we're not gonna buy anything from nobody on that day. Buy nor sell. Right? Continue on.
On the Sabbath or on the holy day.
Neither on the holy days as well, because we got other days that we're supposed to keep, and ultimately the Sabbath day is the highest holy day, right? So the Most High God said, "Hey, you can't buy nor sell on the Sabbath day." So right now, hey, you can't buy nor sell as being an Israelite. You know, if you're an Israelite, or if you're any of the other nations, it doesn't matter to you. But if you're an Israelite, you can't buy nor sell on this day, because the Most High said it, not us. The Most High said you can't buy or sell, right? You got Isaiah 58.
This is the book of Isaiah 58 and verse 13.
Bring it out.
If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day,
He said, hey, if you turn away from doing your pleasures on the Sabbath day, right? Continue on.
and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thine own ways,
Not doing what?
not doing thine own ways,
On the Sabbath day, you can't do your own ways, brother. So whatever you like doing as a pleasure during the 1 through 6 on the Sabbath day, you gotta hope from it. You can't do it. Right? Continue on.
nor finding thine own pleasures, nor speaking thine own words. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord. And
So like the king. He said, hey, you can't you can't speak your own words. You gotta speak thus of the Lord, or just speak meditating on the Lord, right? Or converse about the scriptures through the Spirit, right? So those are the things that you could do. You gotta do on the Sabbath day. Hey, you can't cook, you can't clean, you can't do no servile work. I should say no servile work. You can't buy or sell, nor you gotta withhold from your pleasures on that day, right? So that's the Sabbath day. So when is the Sabbath day? Saturday. Can you buy and sell on that day? No. So right now, can you buy? Can you sell? No. As what? As an Israelite, right? So as an Israelite, that he gave you a commandment and the Ten Commandments that most of our people don't really follow, right? So this is outside the 10 Commandments that the Most High have to ordain us, right? This is the dietary law, right? Do you eat pork? All praise it. What about crab, shrimp, and lobster? On occasions. All right. Let's see what the Most High feel about those certain animals, right? It's more animals that he talks about, but these main animals that are more of our people, partake in, right? Have you ever ate pork? Oh, okay. I'll bring that out for the brother, just for his application.
God, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
And the swine.
And the what?
And the swine.
So the swine is pork, right?
Though he divided the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
Right.
He is unclean to you.
He said he is unclean unto you. So pork is unclean unto you, brother. So our praise of the Most High, you don't eat it, because actually, you don't supposed to eat it, right? Let's get verse 9.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
Right.
Whatsoever have fins and scales,
So whatever in the waters, it has to have fins and scales. So continue on that.
whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters,
Right.
in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
He said what?
Them shall ye eat.
So whatever coming out of the waters, it has to have fins and scales, and that's the only thing you can eat. So crab, shrimp, lobster, and all them other different things that don't have fins and scales, you can't eat or partake in them, because that's a law according to the Most High.
That's right.
Right? So, and ultimately, it's all for your benefit too. Because a lot of those, them sea roaches, sea creatures, they got a lot of bacteria in them, a lot of parasites, and a lot of cholesterol, like the elder said right here. Right? So a lot of them things like harm your body. And so as a people, we can't, we take good care of our body, right? As being the Israelites, right? So that's right there. Let me get Numbers chapter 15, 35, right? Or 38, Salaki. Right?
This book of Numbers, chapter 15.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 38.
Bring it out.
Speak unto the children of Israel,
And
and bid them that they make them fringes and the borders of their garments.
Do you know what fringes are, brother? What do every brother around here got on? That's particular. Clothes. What else? Like what's not normal that we got going? We have. Everything else we got is normal, but what's something that you see that's not really normal? Right, right. Those tassels that's on our end of our shirts. These are fringes. Why we wear them is because the Most High said to wear them.
I
Right?
gotta go with my mom here. Bless you, brothers. I appreciate this y'all doing.
All praises.
And I'm very proud of you, brothers.
All praises to Water King. All praises. You know you're Israelite?
Well, I'm pretty sure of it.
All right, 'cause I know you answered about the Hebrews. You know, I didn't get to your question, but ultimately the Israelites will be Hebrews, and a lot of other nations are Hebrews too.
Yeah.
Just to
There's
answer
some
your
other
question.
things, I got some kin folks that do the same thing you
Right.
do. So they didn't educate me on certain things too.
Oh,
Of course,
okay.
I'm a Baptist, but then, who knows really what we is until we study upon it. You know what I mean?
What's
So
up, man?
y'all doing a very good thing.
All praise to the Most High, brother.
Okay, stay up, brother.
All praises.
Be safe,
Right?
man.
So the Most High God said, hey, we gotta wear fringes, right?
That's right.
Why we gotta wear fringes? Bring it up.
Speaking to the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their
Hey,
generations,
all right, man.
and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
A what?
A ribbon of blue.
Red and the blue. Hey, scoot down over there, King. This way, Con. I think that's the signal. Con. So he said you got on that fringes, you gotta have a ribbon of blue. Like our other brothers, we got the ribbon of blue. He has to have the ribbon of blue. You see, all our fringes are different colors, but that ribbon of blue is consistent, right? Bring it up.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them.
And what?
And do them.
These are physical reminders to keep the commandments of the Lord, right? And do them. So when you think like you want to eat any type of seafood that's not lawful, and you look down your fringes, you be like, I can't eat them, right? And that keep you in order, so you won't be in sin. Because do you know what sin is? What's sin? I could barely hear you, brother. When you do wrong, right? I could see that. But let's get the definition. Because remember I said the Bible explains itself, right? I mean, 1 John chapter 3 and verse 5, right?
This book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
It's like it, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Sin is the transgression of the law, meaning the breaking of the law. So if you break the law, which is grilling fringes, not eating these particular seafoods, crab, shrimp, and lobster, not eating pork, not keeping the Sabbath day, those are, the laws that, what we gave you. Those will be, if you don't do them, you will be breaking and transgressing. Is more on that?
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins.
So ultimately, hey, that's what sin is. When you break those certain things, and like you said, it's more commandments and laws that you can get into once you read the Bible. You own the Bible? Okay, so when you read the Bible, start getting into what you can do and cannot do, right? To ultimately better your walk with the Most High, because you will say you love the Most High as well, right? All right, so the Most High will want you to keep His commandments, because that's what He ordained us to do on the earth, right? You want to get that for the brother? For 1 John 5 and 3.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments.
That we what?
That we keep His commandments.
So the love of God is keeping His commandments.
And His commandments are not grievous.
It's not grievous, meaning it's not hard to do. They're very simple things. Like, in this world, there's thousands of laws that people keep. And I know you're keeping the laws because, right, you're not in jail right now. At least, without the people knowing, at least if you're breaking laws. But, as of right now, you're not in jail. So we know you're keeping the laws. But we know there's thousands of laws in America.
That's right.
But the Most High has not even 1,000 laws to keep. Very simple things that we should be able to keep unto the Lord, right? So, with that being said, brother, let me get Acts 7 and 30, all right? So with that, now you know that you're an Israelite. You know certain things that you should do, but you gotta also do this as well. Acts 7 and 30. 17 and 30, sorry.
Book of Acts chapter 17 and verse 30. And the times of this ignorance,
The time of your what?
and the times of this ignorance, God winked at.
So that time of your ignorance, meaning not knowing, brother, he winked at it. I mean, he turned a blind eye to it. You didn't know no better, right? But now what?
But now commandeth all men everywhere to repent.
Now you gotta repent, meaning turn from the things that you were doing, or or turn from the breaking of the commandments that you was doing, and turn back to the Lord, right? So that's what repent. You gotta repent as well. So when you repent, you say, "Hey, Salakia, Most High, the water forgive me, hey, for the things I've done," and then continue on, right? And then start keeping the commandments unto the Lord, right? Let me get Sirach chapter 5, verse 7, right? So we're hearing all this, brother. You don't want to, Sirach chapter 5. Just bring it out. You got something?
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
Make no tarrying.
No, what?
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
So you don't want to delay and not take. You don't want to take your time to turn to the Lord, brother.
That's right.
You want to. When you hear this, you want to start keeping what the Most High required you to do, because ultimately today He's going to actually set things in order and start judging accordingly of your knowing. Right?
Hey, John.
Continue.
And put not off from day to day.
Put what?
And put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And in thy security thou shalt be destroyed.
Shall be what?
Thou shalt be destroyed.
So so now that you know what you're supposed to do, you don't want to be tearing off from day to day, not doing what you're supposed to do, and the Most High come and destroy you, right? Because we don't know when He's gonna come destroy us, but He's gonna come destroy us when we least expect it. All right, brother. All right, brother. You have any questions? All right, brother. Let's get. We got a flyer for you, brother. All right. So we got all our information on there. If you need to reach out to us, have questions, hey, come contact us, and we're gonna answer your questions, Lord willing, through the Spirit. All right, brother. So, what's your nationality? Hey, sister, you got 5 minutes to hear words of the Lord, sister? What's your nationality, King? You said what? Start with an I. Start with an I. God shows. You gotta remember this, brother.
Right. I know it.
Let's give me Deuteronomy 29 and 1, right?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
With who?
With the children of Israel.
This brother?
With the children of Israel.
With the children of Israel. So, brother, you'll be Israelite, brother. You don't want to forget that, right? So, you'll be an Israelite, brother. So, with that, brother, if you don't have any questions, hey, you're more than welcome to ask us any questions, and Lord willing, you'll answer to them. But, you probably got to go and stuff, but all praise to the Most High, brother. So, you're an Israelite, right? All right, all praise to the Most High, brother. No problem, brother. All praise to the Most High. Hey, Lord willing, that's a mighty, mighty brother, coming to the fold, right? So let me get Sirach chapter 48, verse 10. Let's start with that.
This book of Sirach, chapter 48 and verse 10.
Bring it out.
Who has ordained for reproofs in their times?
Right.
To pacify the wrath of the Lord's judgment.
What?
To pacify the wrath of the Lord's judgment.
Hey, the Most High is sending certain men out here to pacify the wrath of the Lord's judgment, man. Right? Like, who's going to listen to the Most High? Who's going to do it, man? He's only ordaining a certain few men, a certain few teachers in this thing. Right? Continue on.
Before it break forth into fury.
Before what?
Before it break forth into fury.
Because we know, the Most High is coming with fury, right? Not with the Christianity rules, man. He's coming with fury, right? It's like, hey, sister, you got 5 minutes to hear words of the Lord, sister?
You got 5 minutes, sister?
You got 5 minutes to hear words of the Lord?
Come on, stand up.
Yes, I believe in the Lord.
You got 5 minutes for the Lord.
Yes.
Mama, listen, real quick.
All praise to the Most High. Let's speak about the Lord real quick, right?
I'm listening to you. Maybe I can learn something.
All praise to the Most High. You believe in the Bible, right?
Well, I believe in the New Testament a little bit more. The old one been kind of changed.
What you mean by that?
It's been changed a little bit.
Well, how has it been changed?
There's different
Well, there's different versions of the New Testament too. Would you say that?
It's just 5 books.
Just 5 books in the New Testament. What books are those?
Genesis.
Well, that's the Old Testament. I'm talking about the New Testament.
Oh no, I don't go by that one too much. I do respect it, but I don't totally believe in that. Too many people. That's what they said. He said. The Old Testament is what he said.
Oh, so you don't believe in the New Testament?
I believe in the New Testament. That's what Jesus said. But the New Testament is what they said. He said.
Well,
They're just quoting him, but in the Old Testament, that's what he said.
the New Testament is actually when Christ was speaking. The Old Testament is just prophecy of things that was to come to and of Christ too.
And what they said about him.
Yeah, what they said about him.
But that's not all him, though.
That's not.
The New Testament is all
Yeah.
what he said.
Oh, that's deep. So that's deep.
I'm
So
still learning too, but it's kind of like what they said he said. So
well, no, they didn't say what he said. They were just speaking. They were speaking about Christ. They were speaking about the times that that would come up past. Not speaking of what he was saying. They just
they speak of his life and things got changed around.
well, they were speaking of things that was going to happen in his life, right?
How would they know that if they're not
Because they prophets.
They don't know everything. Father only want to know everything.
But don't the Most High give certain things to certain people?
Jesus,
So not prophets.
not like Jesus.
Let me get Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 4 real quick. Right? Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 4. Because this talking about Jeremiah, right? Let's see what Jeremiah. Continue.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 4. Then the word of the Lord came unto me,
He
saying,
said the word of what?
the word of the Lord came unto me, saying,
He said the word of the Lord in Jeremiah came unto me and said.
Jeremiah's powerful.
So would you ordain Jeremiah to be somebody, a prophet? But he does. But if he's speaking just said what the Lord told him to speak, isn't that what's wrong with that? Right. So
all of it, maybe I'm not understanding right, but all of it is not what the Lord said or what it is.
I kind of disagree, sister. According to reading, I
You're a
read.
minister, so you know more than me.
Well, yeah, I read the Bible more than one time. The whole Bible more than one time. Going on my second
You know
time,
what old people say.
right?
You try to memorize the whole Bible, you go crazy.
Yeah, I don't memorize the whole thing, but I read it more than once, right? And I know exactly. The Old Testament is literally speaking of what the Most High said. Literally, the New Testament is not really. If you're going to be technical, it's speaking not really. It's speaking what the prophet said and Isaiah was saying. It's speaking what Jeremiah was saying. That's what all the
Those are the prophets.
because you know ultimately because they didn't have the writings in the New Testament. There wasn't no New Testament. They was reading the Old Testament, talking to everybody about the Old Testament and the New Testament.
So the Old Testament was wrote after the New Testament?
No, the Old Testament was written before the New Testament. That's why the Old Testament it kind of supersedes the New Testament because everything that they were saying in the New Testament was what they were speaking about in the Old Testament. They didn't have the New Testament. They wasn't walking around with the New Testament. They was living in the time of the New Testament. So everything that they're talking about is what the prophets in Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Psalms. That's what they was talking about. So if I was you, I would get in the Old Testament.
That's right.
Because the Old Testament is, I would get in the whole book, but
The Old
hey,
Testament is the one I was talking about, the first Genesis and all that.
right, that's what you read, right?
I don't read it all the time.
I'm saying that's what you take, right?
I kind of go toward that, but I love the prophets, Jeremiah.
So you don't, so you saying, so do you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, John?
I grew up in the church, so I have read it before, but not like you. Just sit and read it, try to understand for myself.
Right. So I'm saying, do you believe in Mark, Luke, and John, and what they speaking
I believe
about?
the whole Bible, but I'm just not drawn to it like I am the Old Testament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do believe though. I'm not against it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nah, I'm not stupid.
No. We ain't saying that. But I'm just trying to
You are.
see where you at. You
You
know.
gotta listen.
Yeah, we just trying to see where you at. You know, just trying to see where you at. So
You
with
guys
the
doing wonderful. This is nice.
right with the Old Testament
Ooh,
though.
look at that Bible. That's it's gorgeous.
Oh, praises.
Somebody sent that. I mean, that's passed down to you.
No, that's one of the brothers' Bibles.
That's nice.
Yeah. So with the Old Testament, do you know God has a chosen people all through the Bible, but particularly in the New Testament, it talks about His chosen people.
With that 144,000.
Well, yeah, they'll
But
be.
it's different amounts because Arab gentleman told me, look at this. One Bible that says this, I didn't say that. It was a mistake. It was a typo, I suppose, but he was showing, pointing it out. It was a
Right.
different amount.
Well,
But
it's,
it's supposed to be 144,000.
it was 144,000 chosen, right?
Yeah, so what are the other
Chosen.
ones wasting their time?
No, it's different. It's levels to it. It's going
It
to.
is levels
It's
to it.
right. So the 144 is just it's a elect ruling class that's going to govern them.
Well, I hope I'm in that now.
Right.
I gotta work a little harder now.
Well,
Work a little hard. You
But-
guys are working hard.
well, so with that being said, those 144,000 they has a nation of people. You know what the nation of people is or are?
That's,
Is it us? How would you know that?
I know myself. I know who I am.
What you mean like us as in the whole world, every ethnicity on the earth?
Yeah,
Or
it is every ethnicity, I'm sure.
you sure about that?
Are you? I mean, tell me, am I wrong?
I want
Is
to.
it just us, or is it just different people and different?
Let me get Isaiah 44:1. Right?
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 1.
Bring it out.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant.
Oh, Jacob who?
O Jacob, my servant.
Jacob, his servant. You know about the Jacobs,
Jacob's good.
right? His servant.
And Israel.
Who?
And Israel.
Israel. You know about the Israelites?
You guys are the Israelites, huh?
You are the
Are
Israelites.
you Hebrew?
Hebrew Israelites. You can't have the Israelites without the Hebrew.
Because Israel is right at the top of Africa, so it sounds right to me.
Yeah, you can't have Israelites
We are
without
different,
Hebrew.
though, so we could possibly be the chosen people. We are different.
Let's see what the Most High say. You want to know the Most High left breadcrumbs to show who are His chosen people?
Breadcrumbs?
Yeah, he laid across like a how should I say like a light to show you who is His chosen people. A map, right? You know, a map shows you the way to go. The Most High left certain things to show you who
That's in the
who are
Bible?
yes. We can show you real quick,
Okay.
right? Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 40
Deuteronomy?
Deuteronomy
Deuteronomy is heavy.
Deuteronomy 28 and 45.
And Proverbs is heavy too.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep His commandments,
To what?
to keep His commandments and His statutes which He commanded thee.
Right. So, and the Most High God said He's gonna place the certain curses on His chosen people to show them.
But it's been placed on us. Honey.
It's been placed on
Slave
His.
trade was a part of that.
It's been placed on His people, right? Right. Let's see, like you said, slave trade. Let's get that one for the sister, right?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord said He gonna bring thee into Egypt again, meaning He gonna bring them back into slavery, right? That's what Egypt means according to the Bible, right? Our bondage, right? You don't have to get a king.
With ships.
What?
With ships.
Out of everybody on the earth, who went to slavery on ships? Us, right? So the Most High is speaking to us.
I think you guys got a picture of it.
Yeah, we got one right here. Look.
It took them 4 months to get across the Atlantic, and them folks got boo-boo in their face,
Right.
pee-pee.
Yeah, all type of
Not
stuff,
enough
right?
Water,
Minstrels.
overboard.
Yeah.
We were the first slaves here in America. My family, the Carters in Virginia, we were one of the first slaves. Now, why would Oakland, well, I don't like this, but why would Oakland set up all that kind of barn? Families could go see it. They cut all of that up and put it in one jar. That was that's our proof, our evidence. I can't believe they cut up all them names like that. I know they must have Xeroxed them off and cut them.
Yeah, they trying to take that out of history.
Okay,
Right?
but you got this white man that done told them to cut it all up and put it in that jar.
Why did he do that though?
That's great. That's our evidence.
Right.
And right now they're giving respirations that would help the people.
But it's a reason why he did that though, right?
I just all
Ain't that
bad.
conniving and sneaky?
Yes,
and devious?
And they do a lot of stuff like that. Give you
Right.
money and stuff.
Right.
Give you,
Because ultimately, now I know in schooling, they don't really teach slavery.
I
right.
read up on it anyway.
I'm talking about in school right now. I know,
I
and
never was taught in school. No.
you wasn't taught that in school. Well, I know I was taught in school. I was taught in
But
some
you're
of the
younger than me.
right. So a lot of these brothers up here, we was taught slavery and all that, Jim Crow.
We
We
had
was
Black
taught all
History,
that.
though.
We had all that in school. So,
We had Black History.
but nowadays they taking
Was
that out,
actually taught.
right? But it's a reason why that's happening because
They don't want you to be woke.
they don't want you to be woke because the Most High is waking up His people, right? The Israelites. Because we, like we said, read that again for the sister.
This Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
What?
With ships.
If we identify that we don't,
Hear me.
if,
They trying to do it again.
so if we identify with being on slavery ships or with the slave trade, right? Then we'll know, hey, we're the chosen people because nobody,
The
because
Portuguese ran no slave trade.
nobody, no Portuguese, the Amalekites, the Jewish men, right? The European men,
They were trading.
the Hamites or the Africans, they was trading us. They was doing all the trading,
How
right?
about the African kings and stuff who wanted this man's woman and was sent? I guess that happens a little.
Right. So, but ultimately, that's why they taking that stuff out of the school or curriculum because.
They never put it in.
Well, that's not true because I learned about
You're
it.
younger though, but at first they had this. They were
But
starting.
what I'm saying is now they're taking it back out.
Oh yeah.
So now nobody's not knowing about their history no more because right. Let me get Job 8 and 8,
Yeah,
right?
They did destroy the no more African American history.
Right. Let me get Job 8 and 8. I know how to hold on Amos.
This is the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
He said what?
For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
So he said inquire thee of the former age. So you got to know what was going on before. Not just what happened in 2023 or 2022 or 2021. Hey, not just a post-COVID. No, we got to go.
I read up on slavery.
We got to
I read
go
books.
back into 1619. We got to go back to 1400s when they had the so-called Latinos in slavery before the black people, right? We gotta know what was going on before, in the time of all these different wars that was going on, right? So that's some things that we got to learn. We got to upkeep on, right? Continue on that, King.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Prepare that what?
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
And that's what we got to do. We got to know what was going on, our forefathers, know how we used to conduct ourselves. If, like they say in the world, you got to know where you're going, headed before you got to know where you're going. Order to know where you're going, you got to know what happened, what's going on, right? Right. They all into that, but we
not. I am.
our ancestors, we are into our ancestors. We agreed upon David, Esther.
Names and everything.
That's right.
From,
Yeah.
the Mormon temple. I can go back to South Carolina, which I didn't know I had South Carolina. I know I had North
Right.
Carolina. And I
Right.
just found out that they brought all the slaves into Virginia and South Carolina.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know.
The so-called the Native Americans, the Native Americans, the so-called African Americans. We're not African Americans, no Native Americans.
African Americans be called black.
I wouldn't what you call Native.
Well, we need to connect with somebody.
I wouldn't want to connect
That's where we come
to so-called white men.
At all.
Africa is named after a white man, and America is named after a white man.
That's right.
Right? You like the name Africa?
It's been there so long, we embrace it.
Sister, that name ain't been there like that long though.
Wake her up, Ot.
Right? That name is relatively, I would say,
God.
new in a sense.
That's right.
Right? Let's see. You see, Leo Skipper's Africanus, he defeated Hannibal in the Punic Wars.
Come on, bring that
Right? So after the wars, that's when they named Africa after that man.
See that?
Right? So he'll
That's
be
all bad. They should have done that.
right. He a white man. So I wouldn't want to be called either. I would want to be called what the Most High called me.
That's right.
Right? And that's the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, according to the Bible. Right? And that's who you'll be, sister. You'll be a Hebrew Israelite according to the Bible. And you got to take that on as good cheerful. Because ultimately, let me get what's that? Deuteronomy 28 and 47 or 47. Right. Let me get 47.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
Let me see if that's what I want. No, I ain't want that.
Because our service not to be with like cheerfulness.
Yeah.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 47.
Yep.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
You did what?
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Just being served the Lord God with joyfulness and what else?
And with gladness of heart.
And with gladness of heart. That's what we gotta be. Hey, we gotta have gladness of heart and be cheerful dealing with the Most High, serving Him. And that means you gotta serve Him with all your might, not just with some or with half of it. Hey, you want to be whole. You want to be your whole foot in, 2 feet in this thing.
Wherever you are.
Be content, and be cheerful and glad, right? Right. So with that, sister, do you know how to serve the Lord?
I only know one way to serve him. That's
How is that?
praying and being kind to my other fellow human beings.
Oh, I had Amos 3:3. Huh? What did I bring up? I forget why I had that. Because you said everybody in the world. You said everybody in the world is, for God, or God loved them. Because that's what you said, right?
Well, I thought that's what he said. He loves everybody.
Yeah, exactly. You said the 144 is everybody in the world, right? But what we find out is only the Israelites, right?
That's right. Lady got on the bus and she was saying, Jesus hated white people too.
He did.
He did.
He did. You want to prove it?
Well, Jewish is
You said Jewish.
he's Jew. He was a Jew.
He was a Jewish man.
Jesus was a Jew.
Jesus was a Jew, but you said Jewish.
Well, that's another way.
Where nowhere in the Bible that you ever called Jewish.
Well, we say Jew. He was a Jew.
Well, Jesus was a Jew,
Yes.
but not the so-called people of this world. They be Jewish, right? They didn't go to slavery on ships, so they can't be God's chosen people. But us, all of us up here went through that, right?
Yes, our ancestors
So,
went through it.
so
We went through it.
our ancestors, our people, right? So the so-called Jewish men, they will not be God's chosen people, and God hates them. Let me get that in
That's right.
Romans, right? Let me show you that. Should I get that in?
So you want
Unless you don't
to
like the,
so you want to hear that?
This is put in Romans chapter 9, verse 13.
Bring it out.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved.
He said what?
As it is written, Jacob have I loved,
Right.
but Esau have I hated.
He said, Esau have I hated. Who's Esau?
Was that the one that was that killed his brother? Which one killed his brother?
That's Cain, right? But he talking about Esau. Right? Yeah, he wanted to. He had in his heart to. Then let me get
Is
that.
he the one that went into the tent?
The second one. The second one that went into the
I'll
tent.
see you later.
The second one went into the tent.
Yeah, they
He don't like the one that ate the red pork pottage.
He was,
You talking about Isaac and Jacob, right?
like I said, I'm not.
I mean Esau and Jacob, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah, I think that.
Esau and Jacob, right? So,
He got drunk. His dad was drunk in there.
oh no, that's Noah. That's Noah. That was Ham. That was the Africans. No, they say that. They try to say that. But we know we not.
From Esau.
No, we Israel. We Jacob. He will be Esau.
Jacob.
That's right.
That's Esau.
Yeah, that's Jacob. That will be Esau right there. You see him?
That's right.
That's Esau. The so-called white man. He's Esau. Remember, God said He hate Esau because he wicked. Look at him. Wicked. Right? They wicked.
Got a little white blood in there.
That's a lie. How when we make white people? How when we make white people? Why we don't?
Got a little white
That's a lie. That's a lie, sister. That's a lie. We make white people. They don't make us. We the only one that can make every shade of the red.
But nigga gonna make your delivery easy.
Right? So, sister, no. We don't have no white in us. We ain't tainted like that.
Well, I got a little bit from the slave master.
Nah, sister.
Grandmother told me that.
Nah, sister.
See
See that? See that?
I got his red hair and his blood to prove it.
Damn.
Nothing I can do
So
about it.
you saying that your great grandfather is an Edomite?
Well, the white man?
Is he a white man?
He was a slave master like yours.
So you saying no? Yeah, he's our slave master. He's our slave master. But is he your great grandfather?
He is my great grandfather.
Like blood by blood?
Yeah.
Woo! Damn.
You got that too.
Nah, no, I don't. I don't.
All of us do.
No, I don't.
You got a slave
Most I forbid I don't.
Most of the slave
Please don't.
Why?
Yeah, most of them was, but they didn't all take our women though. That's not true. And a lot of those stories are kind of fabricated.
Kids and women.
They was doing the kids and women, but we was also sleeping with them too.
They said.
We was sleeping with their women too though.
I know you know, but
Right? Do you know that?
Yes, I do.
So no, they don't like speaking on that part, but they like to say we was getting butt raped and
When they was getting
butt raped.
seduced, the black man was
You
getting
know.
seduced by the slave gang around.
Right. So that's not all the way true, sister. So what we saying is, ultimately, you might be an Israelite, but you saying your great grandfather,
I'm telling you the truth, but my grandmother, till she's born in 1903,
right?
she looks like him too.
Ooh,
And I mean, she only got a fourth of blood, mixed blood, which is nothing.
well, no such thing as mixed, sister.
You got something other than your primary thing.
Well, the Most High deal with patrilineage, meaning He deals with the fathers. I'll praise to the Most High, family. So he deals.
You telling me that blacks don't have, that none of them are mixed with white from the slave master?
No, not all of us. No.
Look at your color.
Look at who
But
color.
all of it, him and him. All don't matter.
Yeah, color don't matter. Color don't matter.
Dark too, it have to be mixed.
But color don't matter, sister. It's all about your bloodline with your patrilineage, right? Let me get Numbers 1 and 18. See, brother, got that.
There you go.
God's book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18.
I know.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees.
They declare what?
And they declared their
They
pedigrees
declared a pedigree or a lineage or a bloodline by what?
after their families by the house of their fathers.
By what?
By the house of their fathers.
You are who your father is, sister.
That's right.
Ain't no such thing as mixed.
At all.
Saying ain't no such thing as mixed. That's what we're saying. Well, the Jewish men, they say they Israelites by their mother.
See that?
So they don't even say by their dad. They say by their main mother, which is not according to the law.
At all.
And matrilineage.
Yeah, they say they're maternal.
Yeah.
If your mother's Jewish,
Matriarch.
then you're Jewish, but if
Yeah,
your
but that's not
father's
right.
Jewish, they don't play that.
But that's not right. You're talking about your father had to be Israelite,
Most-
right?
in most cultures, your father.
And that's what the Israelites. I mean, he dealing with the Bible. So you are who your father is. So
I'm gonna go in Walmart. I'll be out.
So sister, before you go though, with being an Israelite, I don't know if you do you feel or do you deem yourself an Israelite? Do you feel that spirit of it?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Why not? Why not?
Learning.
Still learning?
Yeah, I'm still learning.
Okay, yeah.
I'll be back out.
Can't get me mad at that, you know.
Okay, bless you. Thank you for the knowledge.
No problem, sister. Lord willing, you come back and get some more knowledge, right?
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So, hey, I don't, hey, that spirit, man. She said, hey, might be an Edomite, man. Right? According to her, man, we all Edomites in this thing, man. Hey, that's terrible, man. Right? That's terrible, man.
That's horrible, man.
We not all tainted with that devil blood, man.
God.
That's crazy, man. Look at the devil right here. He laugh. He like that. Right. No, he a devil, a serpent, man. You a devil?
You got that bracelet on.
Nah, no. Are you a devil though? He bathed in the devil, huh? Right?
He got the criminal bracelet on his leg.
Oh, he got that criminal base though. See that? 2-time loser, man.
You see that?
He a 2-timer.
See that?
2-timer, right? You got a precept, King? Okay, let me get.
I think it's Psalm 37 and 28.
Psalm 37:28. Okay.
Except for the wicked here cut off. I think it's Psalm 37 and 28. Yeah, kind of. That's the one.
It's Psalm 37 and verse 28. Bring it out. For the Lord loveth judgment and forsaketh not his saints.
Right.
They are preserved forever.
They are what?
They are preserved forever.
So the Israelites are preserved forever, man. Contrary to what that sister was believing, man. And we tainted a little bit, right? But what?
But the seed of the wicked shall be cut off.
What?
But the seed of the wicked shall be cut off.
Hey, the seed of the wicked shall be cut off, man.
Yep.
In due time, hey, the Edomites gonna be cut off. You said what? The book of Daniel say what? Hey, sister, got 5 minutes to the words of the Lord, sister? 5 minutes for the Bible and learn who you are according to the Bible. What you say? Yeah. You bad. From the womb, right?
Right.
Hey, Psalms 58, right?
That's right.
Bring that up, King.
This is book of Numbers, chapter 36, In verse 7.
Right.
So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe.
Uh-huh.
For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers.
To what?
That's a good piece.
Shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers.
Hey, you gonna keep your inheritance to the tribe of your father, man.
That's right.
Hey, like Greek kept going into, man. You are who your father is in this sense, man.
That's right.
You're not tainted by the devil, man. That's madness, man. Even though we make all those colors, man.
Right.
We make white. How we gonna be tainted by that?
See that?
You know, we make white. We make the white man.
Con.
The white man don't make us, right? You know, right? So let me get Psalms 58, right? Because I quote bring it out. Psalms 58, right? Yeah, Psalms 58.
Psalm chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Like the Edomite said over there. Hey, it's your seed, man. Your seed, right? Continue.
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Right.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
Well,
Speaking lies.
Speaking what?
Speaking lies.
Speaking what?
Speaking lies.
Speaking lies, man. That's all they ever do is speak lies. Because they a tainted seed.
That's right.
Like the Edomite said, man.
God.
They a tainted seed from the womb,
That's right.
right? Don't speak nothing but lies.
Lies.
Yeah, you know, so ultimately that's how they are. Con.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder. They stoppeth her ear.
right.
Con. You know, they poisonous, man. You don't want to get near them because they gonna end up killing you, man.
That's right.
We know how they move. They like to do these coalitions and trying to get you out of the way,
Right.
That's how they do everybody, man. They get that's how they did the Native Americans, the so-called Native Americans. They tried to say, hey, we here for you, but then they end up killing them.
Right.
Or can you help us? And then they end up killing them, right? Hey, Elder, you got 5 minutes to hear words of the Lord? 5 minutes for the Bible to learn about your heritage. What's your nationality? What's your race? You black? You the color of this man's sweater? Damn. Brother, you brown, brother, just like your jacket, your flannel. Brother? Yeah, can you speak black? Can you go to the land of black?
See that?
See that? Hey, let me get Isaiah 3, man, and 1. Top. Hey, our elders, man, is
Right.
crazy. Don't know nothing, man.
Man, bugged out.
Yeah, 3 and 1.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Bring it up.
For behold, the Lord of hosts doeth take away from Jerusalem.
Doing what? Hey, so like, hey, sister, you got 5 minutes to hear words of the Lord, sister? Come on, praise to the Most High. Come on, praise to the Most High. So what, devil?
Very observant.
Don't keep it at home.
How you doing, sister? You believe in the Bible? Okay, all praises to the Most High. Do you know what you know about the Bible? You don't know nothing? Hey, sister say I believe, but hey, I don't know nothing. But ultimately, let's get some understanding of the Bible, right? Because what would you say your nationality or ethnicity is? African American. Okay. Do you know Africa is named after a white man? Do you know America is named after a white man? Right. So those two terms, we know we can't be from those two white men. Because I'm looking at you, sister. You don't have none of that. You don't have none of that white blood in you. You said that what? Right. Too much ink. Right. So ultimately, with that being said, the Most High God never called nobody African American. He never called nobody white. He never called us black either. So what are we according to the Bible? Right? That's the grand scheme of why we here. Right? Because ultimately the Most High. Let me get Ecclesiastes 4 and the last verse. Right? 16, I believe. Because everybody in the Bible are still here on the earth.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 16. There is no end of all the people.
Right? He said there's what?
There is no end of all the people.
So there's no end to everybody on the earth, sister. Everybody in the Bible is still here on the earth. Every nation. Because the Most High had 18 different nations on the Bible and they still here. Continue on.
Josh.
even of all that have been before them.
Right? And so that's how it is. So every nation in the Bible is still here. So we have to come from one of these nations, right? So let's see, because the Most High God has a chosen people. He has enemies, and we got to see where do we fall on that Richter scale, right? So do you know about Moses? A little bit, right? He parted the sea, right? So after he parted the sea, what happened? Okay, let me get Acts chapter 7 and verse 38, right? Because he did part the sea, and he had a group of people with him, right?
Look at Acts chapter 7, verse 38. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai.
Where?
In the Mount Sinai. And with our fathers, who received the lively oracles to give unto us, to whom our fathers would not obey, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts turned back again into Egypt, saying unto Aaron, make us gods to go before us. For as for this Moses, which brought us out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
Right.
And they made a calf in those days, and offered sacrifices unto the idol, and rejoiced in the works of their own hands.
So that's what happened after he came across. He went to go get the tables of stones, and he was with the Israelites, and they started worshiping other gods, right? So that happened after he parted the Red Sea, right? So he saved the Israelites out of bondage, and he gave them a certain things to do, right? He said, if you keep my commandments, or you keep the Lord commandments, just to say, this is what he said. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1.
Read it out.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
He said, if you hearken diligently, do you know what hearken means? It just means to hear or to listen, right?
Hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high,
He's going to set thee on high on what?
above all nations of the earth.
He said, if you keep my commandments, I'm going to set thee above all the nations of the earth, right? So that's a good thing. When we say that, that's a good thing, to be above all the nations on the earth. So if you have a good thing, you also got to have a bad thing, right? That's just balance, right? Let's see what the bad thing the Most High said. We get 45. God.
28 verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and pursue thee and overtake thee.
So he said now these curses are going to overtake you, pursue thee, and overtake thee, right? Continue.
Till thou be destroyed.
That'll be what?
Till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
He said, because you didn't listen to the Lord thy God, now all these curses are going to pursue thee. Continue.
To keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee.
He said, now these curses are going to be upon thee, what?
For a sign.
What?
For a sign and for a wonder. And upon thy seed forever.
So it's going to be upon your seed forever. So if we know we at Walmart because what? The signs there. So these curses is going to show you exactly who are God's chosen people and who are Moses walking with. Right? Continue on that, King. 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies.
Therefore what?
Shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
And what?
In hunger.
In hunger. So sister, when we want any type of food, produce, anything, where do we go? The grocery stores. So who owns the grocery stores? You said, right, but do we own them? Right. So all these other nations own them, right? Continue on that.
For hunger and in thirst.
And in thirst. So same thing with food, right? It's the same thing with any type of drinking beverage, right? Right, because we know water fall free from the sky, and if we collect water, we'll get fined, right? So who tax the water on that? Who gives that law to, like, if you collect basins of water, you'll get fined? Who gives that order out? The government. Who run the government? A lot of Jewish people? Jews, okay. Right? And they will be what? White people, right? Okay. Let's continue on that.
Hunger and in thirst and in nakedness
nakedness, so all their clothing on our back, same thing, right? You might say, oh, this is black-owned businesses, but where they get their textile from? These other nations, right?
And the one of all things.
And one of all things. So if you want a card, a birth certificate, a death certificate, license, you gotta go to what? The government, and we know who runs the government. Continue on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon.
He said what?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So now these same people that's enslaving us with the water, or the beverages, or the clothing on our back, they gonna put a yoke of iron on our neck. Who do that sound like? It's slavery, right?